I'm Joseph Hoffman, and in this lesson, we're going to practice being creative at the piano. You see, I want you to feel confident, not just playing music composed by other people. I want you to experience the satisfaction of creating your own original music. It's not hard, it's not magic, it just takes a little practice and a spirit of being willing to take risks. Remember, when you improvise, there are no right or wrong notes. Every sound you make becomes a part of the music. Let's come to the piano to start creating. Today we're going to be improvising in the key of A flat major. So for this lesson, I'm assuming that you already know how to play an A flat major scale. If you don't, go back to my lesson on A flat major, review that, and then you can come back to improvise. So now, assuming you know how to play an A flat major scale, I want you to think of all these notes as like colors on your palette if you were an artist. And you can use any of these colors, any of these notes are your colors that you can choose to make our musical painting. So, to practice improvising, I'd like you to just think of doodling in the scale. And one reason we practice scales is so your fingers are comfortable with all those notes. But now, instead of just playing the scale up and down, try changing directions. Let's still just stick with stepping right now. See, I'm just using steps in the A flat major scale, but I'm going up, I'm going down, I'm changing directions whenever I feel like it. And you can go as high or as low as you want, just only using the notes of A flat major. So I'd like you to pause the video and just try doodling around like I'm showing you, only sticking to these notes, but just have some fun creating some different melodies and sounds using steps in the A flat major scale. Pause to do that, then press play to go on. All right, so far we've just been doodling using steps up or down, changing directions whenever we feel like it. In improvising, we're also going to use repeating notes and occasionally skips. So for example, we can doodle see, I added in some repeating notes. We can also add in skips. I would use skips sparingly. Think of skips like the spice of your music. When you do a skip, it has a lot of power. But if you do too many skips, it can sound a bit jarring and hard to understand musically. So again, use a skip when you want a little extra punch, but then probably you're going to do some steps right after it. Or repeating notes. Repeating notes and steps are the most common ways for a melody to move. But see, when you throw in a skip, that can have a lot of interest as well. So, I'd like you to pause the video again and try making up some melodic patterns that you find interesting. If you're not finding it interesting enough, try changing up the rhythm. Adding in some repeating notes, and remember that music is filled with patterns. Find a pattern you like, and then you can repeat it a couple times. Even just 3 notes can make a cool pattern. Then repeat it. So many possibilities to play around with. Again, stick to these notes of A flat major, pause the video, and just play around. Think of this like doodling on a sketch pad. You're just seeing what kind of melodies are possible in the key of A flat major. Play around for a little bit, and then press play to go on. Okay, now let's take your improvising to the next level by adding in some chords. We're going to do a 1 chord with our left hand. So find a place. Here's my middle C. So I'm just going to use what are called power chords, where you just play the root and the fifth of the chord. So you're just playing perfect fifths, actually. Here, the one chord would be A flat and E flat. Try that on your piano. And then let's alternate that with the four chord, which is a D flat and A flat on top. Another perfect fifth, power chord. That will be our four chord and the one chord. And then you can make up a melody with your right hand while your left hand is playing these chords. I just made that up, okay? And you can see that the one and four chord really sound strong together. It's a very common but simple chord progression. So pause the video, and I'd like you to try throwing in just these two simple chords with your left hand, and then let your right hand play around. If a note doesn't sound great to you, hey, that's dissonance. Remember, music has dissonance in it, but then it can resolve. Just step up or down to the next note. Dissonance can be part of your music. So again, there's no right or wrong notes. If a note doesn't sound quite right to your ears, just step to the next one or the next one and just make it all part of that musical journey. Listen as you play and notice what sounds good to you, maybe what doesn't sound as good to you, and just weave it into the musical story you're creating. Pause to play around with that, and then press play to go on. Now, as you're improvising this week in the key of A flat major, a few things you can do to spice it up even more. If you want to challenge yourself, instead of just playing a power chord like this, you can use finger 5, 2, and then 1, come all the way back up to this A flat. So it's kind of like doing an arpeggio, but we're leaving out the third of the chord. And so you could just go back and forth. 5, 2, 1, 2, 5, 2, 1, 2. And see, I'm adding in damper pedal too to make it sound even more interesting. See, if you hold down the damper pedal, then the music really resonates. I'm just improvising this, right? It's just notes from A flat major with a simple accompaniment pattern. You can repeat the chords if you want to do something more energetic. That's possible as well. The possibilities are limitless. If you're bored of the 1 and 4, you can add in a 5 chord and a 6 chord. The 4, 5, and 6 and 1 are probably the 4 most common chords in music. And so spice it up by coming back and forth between the 5 and 6 chord. And then back to the 1. Throw in other chords. You can throw in a 3 chord. 3 likes to go to the 4 chord. And then back to 1. 3, 4, 1. So many possibilities. Now, to finish today, I'd like to do an improvisation together with you, where I will provide the accompaniment, and so you only need to worry about the melody, which I suggest you try with your right hand. You could do it with your left hand, but I'm going to be in this lower part of the piano, so doing your melody anywhere from kind of the middle C area all the way up to the top of your piano, wherever your imagination takes you. Again, there's no right or wrong way to do this. I'm feeling the mood for doing something flowing, beautiful, a little bit thoughtful today. So my accompaniment is going to sound like this. kind of know the mood I'm going for. And so your melody could be really gentle and thoughtful, flowing. You could use damper pedal if you like. Have fun trying to get into the mood that I'm creating with the accompaniment. Remember, your best tool for improvising is your ear. Listening to yourself, to me, and enjoying all the unique sounds you're creating. So try and listen and respond to what you hear me doing. Maybe I'll be getting louder, and try and go with that and match that energy. Or if I'm playing softer, try and match that. And let's make some beautiful music together. All right, let's improvise. You can start playing in the key of A flat major whenever you're ready. Here we go. I hope you enjoyed improvising in A-flat major with me today. If you're a premium member, you can download from the Hoffman Academy website an audio track with me playing an even longer version of the accompaniment I just played, so you can have even more fun practicing your A-flat major improvisation. I encourage you to take a few minutes every day to practice improvising and enjoy creating your own music. Thanks for watching and learning with me, and happy practicing. Mr. Hoffman said there are no wrong notes when improvising. Well, challenge accepted. Monkey, roll Mr. Hoffman's improv play-along track. Woo-hoo! Let's improvise. What's that awful note you're playing? Awful note? I think you mean beautiful note. Mr. Hoffman said there are no wrong notes when you improvise. I don't think he meant to purposefully play it ugly. Ugly? Well, I guess not everyone can appreciate great art. You like it, right, monkey? Woo-hoo! Let's play together. Woo-hoo!